Check, check, check. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back.
Tonight's story.
Bears still suck.
Murder on the lakefront. mm-hmm. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 9 to 5 Bears, presented by Total Roofing and Construction. This is the show where myself and my coworker Brett talk about, I guess I would say coworker, I guess we're friends.
Yeah.
We've known each other long enough to be friends
like
at this
you.
point, right? Okay, that's fair. I like you too. Me and my friend Brett talk about the Bears before work, before we dive into what happened yesterday. I'd just like to take a quick second and say we debuted the first episode last week. It got, at least for what we expected it to get, a pretty decent reception. So Thank you to all of you out there, our friends and family who checked it out, watched it, subscribed to the YouTube channel, that stuff. Very cool, very humbling.
Thanks, Mom, for watching 75 times.
Yes, and thanks to my family for watching the other 75 times to make up
y'all
the.
Are the best.
Yes, thank you.
One love.
Thank you so much. But yeah, it was really cool. So at the top, right now, the only things that we're currently on are Spotify, and then wherever Spotify kind of like sends the episodes out to, and YouTube. So those are the two places. Check out 9 to 5 Bears. Go subscribe and follow all that stuff. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into it. Brett, week 1, we had a lot of optimism. We had a lot of hope that maybe this would be a W. That was not the case. I think there's a lot of directions we can take this, a lot of things we can talk about. So I'll just ask you, starting off, initial reactions to what occurred last night on Monday Night Football.
I just felt like that was a game we've seen so many times in our life. Just an absorbent amount of penalties, pre-snap penalties that really impacted things. Defense just being on the field for far too long, and then ultimately it's bend not break, and then they broke in the fourth quarter and 21 unanswered points. And then quarterback play. I was very disappointed in Caleb. It might be time to start having the conversation of where the hell is his deep ball at?
Oh.
Where's his accuracy at? Why is he missing open guys? When he goes through his reads, they showed a few plays where guys were breaking open, and he's trying to dunk and dink, and I'm tired of that shit. I'm so tired of that shit. I saw his passing chart. He had one throw beyond 30 yards. All right. I love excitement. I want to see bombs down the sidelines, dude. Like, I'm so tired of this dink and dive shit. Now I get you got to adapt based on who they're playing. Ben Johnson had to go against Brian Flores and the Vikings. They blitz a lot. But, man, do we play the Vikings every week then? Because I've seen this offense every week for the last 5 years. So I can't, dude, it's so bad. Now, I'm not one to make excuses, but I am. There was a lot of bullshit calls. Like the phantom hold on Darnell Wright that just obliterated that drive. The Bears finally putting something together, in the third quarter, and that gets called. Why? Like, he didn't even do anything. And then they end up missing the field goal because Cairo Santo has the leg that's like a rubber chicken. And then Dio had a phantom roughing the passer call. The pass interference against the Bears, the defensive pass interference.
And Tyreek Stevenson,
when
Jefferson
Naylor
just fell over.
Naylor just fell.
Yeah.
And they threw a flag. Like, dog, come on. What are we doing? Anywho, that was just Twilight Zone, Eric. I just watched that game so many times in life, and I knew what the outcome was going to be the whole time. The third quarter started. Offense couldn't do anything. And I was just like, here we go. And then J.J. McCarthy throws up 21 in the fourth quarter. That was his first start. How about you?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about it last night and this morning. A lot of different things I can start off. I guess I should have known right away the direction this game was going to go before it even started, because like the whole coverage of the first game was about like how JJ McCarthy was from the area, and they gave him like this sob, like the
homecoming,
the motivational story, right, where he's like, he went to his first Bears game when he was 4, and he's played football since he was 5, and it was like his dream, and he's a local kid, and he's having his comeback to Soldier Field, his homecoming to Chicago. And at that point I should have been like, well, it's over, we're done, it's officially that's games, you might just wrap it there.
Right.
So
Not even play the game.
Yeah, game starts off. And I was actually impressed with the start of the game.
Absolutely.
Caleb goes 10 for 10. Yeah, he's got some of the short little passes there. I was encouraged by his accuracy. I'm like, he's making every single throw. He has a really beautiful dime to Rome Odunze on the sideline where like Rome is able to make a really awesome catch.
Yeah.
Put it where only Rome
And
could
great
catch
throw.
it. Yeah, and great throw. And Rome pulled that in, high difficulty catch. Rome was able to do it, and that's encouraging to me because like I think we want to see more from Rome Odunze this
Yes.
season. That was a good catch. Early on, the Bears defense looked great too, despite the fact that we were down Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards, three of like the cornerstone pieces of our defense.
Right.
We got in McCarthy's face. We were batting balls. We sacked him 3 times. He didn't look great. He looked like what you'd expect a week 1 first start quarterback to look like in a primetime game at Soldier Field in a hostile environment, and the crowd was into it. But then after that first drive, that's when like the doubt started to leak in for me because those penalties started coming, and yes, some of them were BS, but you're not gonna win. To me, this is the biggest takeaway from the game. Yes, Caleb had some throws he should have made. You're not gonna win the game when you have 12 penalties, 127 penalty yards, which is like more than any one person caught the ball, more than like more rushing, more rushing yards than we had. Like the execution was sloppy, even though some of the calls, were BS. Sometimes you get some calls against you, sometimes you get some calls for you. This is the way it goes. But the execution was sloppy. Jonah Jackson, a couple of false start penalties, and that's just not acceptable. You can't have 12 penalties. You can't have sloppy execution when we know that Ben Johnson's offense requires a lot of pre-snap motion, requires a lot of moving parts. And to me, it just didn't seem like our offense was able to like handle that stuff.
Yeah, and it stunk because it just, again, going back to, it felt like a game we've seen so many times. I literally, at one point, was like, we need a defensive touchdown. And how many times have we said that in our lives? And at the time, it comes to fruition, but it still doesn't mean jack because the defense, they score a touchdown, they go right back on the field, right? Like, it's fun and all, but okay, they score the touch, they get the interception for a touchdown, right back on the field, and then the Vikings just continue to wear him down. I'm sick and tired of begging for a defensive touchdown to be scored to keep this team relevant in games. Like, it is it's irrational. Like, so irrational. Again, the penalties don't help, but I'm just super frustrated with the play of number 18. And again, it's game 1, so this is like overreaction, right? But dude, some of those play calls, again, I'm Brett. I watched that game from a couch, right? I've watched every game in my life from a couch or a bar.
Right.
I don't know bupkis about an NFL playbook, but I'll tell you what, Ben Johnson, some of those plays, I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like, I hate plays behind the line of scrimmage. Like, I don't like these outs to guys and expect them to run. It's like,
we need to go forward with
Again,
the ball. Yeah.
I don't like dink and dives. I like the ball to get air thrown. I like air yards. All right, I want to see the ball go through the air.
Yes.
And Caleb didn't do that hardly ever. And DJ Moore, he had wide open on the sidelines, like going into the red zone, and just totally airmails him. It's like, God bless it, dude. Come on, one time, make the throw.
In case you're wondering, like, what our ultimate fantasy here is, we want the Bears offense to one time be the 2013 Broncos. Where Peyton Manning throws for like 50 touchdowns and like 5,500 yards. Like, that's our goal.
That'd be neat. It's gonna be a while though.
Yeah, I think so. The penalties were the first big thing, and to me, the most baffling thing was, we had some execution concerns coming out of camp. That was like one of the big stories where it was like there were penalties. It was kind of sloppy and stuff. To me, the other baffling thing is this is something that I'm always really high on and like want the Bears to do more, because I see how other teams use tight ends, and they're very effective in the way that they use them. So in the draft, we go out and get Colson Loveland. We have Cole Kmet, who I think Cole Kmet's a really good tight end. I think he hasn't been given the chance to like shine and be considered like one of the elite tight ends in the league, which I think he could be. So you go out, you get this other guy, Colson. He has made some good catches in preseason. Like, he was getting all the rave at camp, and like I didn't see Cole Kmet, like, he had one catch tonight, and then Colson Loveland had like one catch.
Yeah, he had a bobble over the middle.
And
like
they made they made a huge deal about like Ben Johnson being able to come in and run 12 personnel, which is the 2 tight ends, 1 back set, which he loved to do in Detroit.
Yeah,
and nothing. Like, some passes to the tight ends across the middle like would have helped, like taking care of that like dink and doink problem you said.
Right.
Like,
One, he did have Cole Kmet, and he just totally, again,
Did miss him, yeah.
Threw it high, and it's like, guy, what are you doing, man? You're an NFL quarterback. Make the easy throws. And he makes the most absurd throws, like that sidearm throw to Rome that you mentioned. Like, what was that? Like, that was amazing. And then it's just like, just hit the guys over the middle. And it's
he
just
did it
time and
again.
time again.
He had a nice dime to DJ on the sideline, too, like the opposite sideline.
Yeah.
So,
but again, it's week 1. It's hard to really. I don't think I'm being irrational, though, when I say like this is just the same thing we've seen so many times. But again, week 1 against an amazing defense in Brian Flores, like being the coordinator, that's a solid defense that's been together for years. That's really tough to go up against. It just really sucks that it was at home against J.J. McCarthy in his first game for Caleb and Ben, and that's kind of what happened. I mean,
yeah,
the opening drive was amazing. I remember just like it was like in Shawshank Redemption when Andy finally gets out of prison and he's like looking up at the heavens and rain falling. Like it started raining on me. I was like, "What is going on?"
Yes.
And then everything just went back to shit, and I was humbled really quick. And I was sitting next to a Packer fan during the game. Shout out Sean Enox. That mother. Dude, I swear to God, I'm never watching a game with him again. He was rooting for the Vikings like he was born in Duluth, Minnesota. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? And he's just like clapping, and because he's a Packer fan, and God bless it. Don't watch games with people that aren't associated with who's involved.
Tribalism. Stick to your tribe for sure. Yeah.
So Sean, one love, but never again.
Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, Minnesota has proven track records for both their coaches. Brian Flores is a very good coach. Kevin O'Connell is probably like one of the best coaches in the league. I think he's probably. I mean, I know Matt LaFleur.
Look what he did last year with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I know Matt LaFleur gets a lot of attention in our division. Like I think I have so much respect for the way Kevin O'Connell like coaches that team.
Yeah,
and they did exactly what I thought they would do going into halftime. So that's when the penalties started to pile up, and I got this kind of like familiar feeling in my stomach.
Yep.
And they
Never
came
felt
out.
Confident.
Yeah, they came out, and then really kind of where the momentum of the game shifted was, like you said, that Darnell Wright holding call in the second half, that questionable for sure. And then Cairo Santos misses the field goal. Right.
On the same possession.
And after that, I just felt the vibe of the team. It was just completely different. Everyone was just like, oh, here we go again. And everybody
finally started to produce, and you come away with nothing.
And everybody in the stadium, you kind of sense like the energy in the stadium shift, like, oh, here we go again. And then credit to, and again, we're going to bitch about a lot the Bears, but I think we have to give credit to the Vikings where it's due.
Oh, yeah.
KOC and Brian Flores adjusted at halftime like competent coaches do.
Yes.
And they put in a bigger back. They put in that running back Mason, who just started like busting through the lines, got the run game going. And then we had to commit, and it's harder to stop that run game when TJ Edwards is out. That's part of his job as linebacker. We commit to stopping the run more, and then that freed up the passing game, gave more windows to JJ McCarthy, who, again, shout out to JJ McCarthy. He got absolutely clobbered in the first half. He would have had every right to like be discouraged and like, have low morale from that beating that he took. And he was mentally tough. He hung in there. He trusted his coach. Kevin O'Connell was able to like scheme some stuff open for him and get him some good completions and passes, and he got going. And he looked better than our year 2 quarterback, and it was his first start. He was able to produce 21 points in the fourth quarter. And so, the Vikings did what they needed to do, and I think that's the main difference between like the Vikings at this point with Kevin O'Connell, with Brian Flores, and their players there have a winning culture. They're mentally tough. They know how to win. The Bears aren't. When they get punched in the mouth, that's it. They fold. I mean, I know Ben Johnson's here, but it's still essentially the same group of guys as last year.
Right. Yep. I mean, and again, Ben Johnson, it's game 1.
Yes.
His first game as a head coach, so there's things he probably wanted to do differently, but it's hard to do things with the amount of penalties, whether they're warranted or not, like the phantom calls, whatever. But you can't have false starts, like they had a lot of false starts, and that's not okay for an offense. I don't understand though why Cairo Santos is still on this team. Like last year when he made that field goal against the Packers, like great, cool, good for you. He got to do like the little his celebration, but.
Kyle, it's got to be the thumbnail right there.
He can't kick the ball further than 50 some odd yards. And then I thought it was a great idea what Ben Johnson was planning on after they scored their last touchdown to make it 27-24. Kick it through the end zone. But I'm like, then put Torrey Taylor in there because that mother, Cairo Santo. I'm trying to be like, I'm really frustrated right now. And when I get frustrated, I might say some words that I don't mean. Cairo Santos, when he was lining up, I'm like, he is not going to kick this to the end zone because they needed that to happen because you didn't want them to bring the ball out because that's time wasted off the clock. Then the 2-minute warning happens. That was a safe gap timeout for the Bears.
Yeah.
He could have kicked it out of bounds, taking a penalty, but then they started at the 40. And yeah, he kicked it as far as he could.
I would rather have him kicked it out of bounds though, because then the whole point of that was
the clock never starts.
Yeah, you want to get the stoppage,
and then they run a play, and then it's 2-minute warning, and then you still have one timeout.
Yeah, you want to get that stoppage before the 2-minute warning to have the extra stoppage. Right. Yeah.
It's but again, I get it made sense, but yeah, Cairo Santos, I'm kind of done with that experiment. Just because it's the NFL. You need the guys that can boot the ball 55, 60 yards easily. I mean, everybody can do that, except for the Bears. Not blaming Cairo Santos. He's not the only reason they lost. But, again, that's where it's a gut punch, where the offense finally started producing the third quarter, which was desperately needed. You had the holding call, and then he ends up missing the field goal. And it just felt like, dude, what are we doing? We're back at it again. Like, defense has got to come up with the stops over and over again. But when you're on the field, as long as they had been, and they played great despite all the people that were out. Like,
yeah,
that was you held them to what, 7 points or 6 points through 3 quarters.
It was exactly what you would want to see from a defense going up against a first start quarterback. Pressured him, knocked down balls, was in his face. Like,
right.
You took advantage. Like, Justin Jefferson was clearly still feeling that hamstring because he didn't play spectacular. JJ was able to get him the ball later in the night, which, ended up being our undoing ultimately. But, yeah, I thought it was weird them starting off. I was like, man, if I'm Kevin O'Connell and I have my first game starting quarterback, I want to have, like, every other play trying to get the ball in Justin Jefferson's hands.
Yeah.
And it's clear to me that Jefferson's probably still dealing with some of the hamstring stuff that's been bothering him up to the preseason.
Well, and him and JJ are still trying to get on the same page
too,
being
also
their first game.
Also true. But the Cairo Santos thing, like you said, when I saw him miss that field goal, I was just thinking about all the games I had watched on Sunday. The Steelers won because their kicker, Boswell, was able to hit a 60-yard field goal.
Yeah. And
I don't have the confidence that Cairo Santos could do that. Yeah. I think, if I remember correctly, in the Ravens game against the Bills, their new kicker hit like a 57-yard field goal.
And he was a rookie.
And, we don't have confidence in the leg strength of Cairo Santos to, be able to – he's a shorter guy. So, the angle of the trajectory, they broke that down when the ball got blocked when we played Green Bay the first time last year. Yep. About how he's shorter, so the angle of his ball is more shallow.
Wow, what another good point.
Yeah, sorry, I had to bring that back up. But you, like you said, we've seen this before. I immediately went back to last season. I thought of how we choked away the Thanksgiving game, right? It happened to the Hail Mary game in Washington, right? It happened to that Green Bay game when the Cairo Santos got we're in these games last minute. And winning culture of football teams would find ways to win those games. And we don't.
Yeah, because
it's not the winning culture.
No.
And the Vikings, we always talk about how, the Vikings are whatever in one-score games. They're so lucky. It's like, no. Winning cultures win the close games. Yes. And we always go Mahomes and the Chiefs were 14 and whatever in one-score games last year. Yeah, because it's a winning culture. They know how to win football games, which makes their loss in Brazil all more surprising. But we'll get to that in a second. There's just we like to we do this every year with ourselves, and again, it's week 1, it's overreaction week 1, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of season left to play. The Lions were not good immediately when Dan Campbell and all those guys came in and took over. They were awful for the whole first season, and it took 3 or 4 years for them to get to where they got to.
That first season, if I recall, though, they went on in the tail end of the season, second half, they went on a 7-game winning streak and almost made the playoffs. So they found their way. So
halfway through the season,
it's going to take.
But Dan Campbell's first season there, they lost it was one of the worst records in Lions
I just remember that
history,
the second, first or second year, they found ways. Second half of the season started and they turned it around.
Yeah, it shifted and you felt they were up and coming. Yeah, and you can tell that happens to teams because I remember I remember early on watching the Golden State Warriors in the early 2010s, and they had Steph, and like he was coming off one of like his early ankle injuries or whatever, and they were ascending. They played the Oklahoma City Thunder in a playoff series like really hard.
Yeah.
And that was still when they had Kevin Durant and Harden and Westbrook.
Right.
And you could just tell, you're like, these dudes are ascending.
Yeah,
and in a couple years,
yeah.
and it's just like, I know it's year one, but like, you know, we this happens. It's the same thing. Every script, every coach since Lovey, Brett. It's Mark Trestman, it's John Fox, it's Matt Nagy, and now it's Ben Johnson. We like delude ourselves into be like, okay, and it's just it never feels any different.
Nope. Nope.
So
yeah, definitely a disappointing first game, and doesn't get any easier though. Next week going against the Lions in Detroit, and they're gonna be hungry. They got the brakes beat off them in Green Bay, and it's another test, another divisional test. I mean, just stinks because they had that game, should have won that game. A lot of missed chances and things that just didn't go their way, and unfortunately sometimes that happens, but it happens way too much to the Chicago Bears. So
yeah, at what point? I know, like we talked about yesterday about our mindsets coming into the season, and then I eventually got a little more optimistic, despite being kind of like level-headed all off season.
Yes.
I honestly, Brett, like I want to be excited about the team, but I don't think we owe them that anymore. Like we just don't. We like it's happened for 4 coaches in a row. It's happened for 3 quarterbacks in a row where we like delude ourselves in the off season that this is going to be different, and it's not. Now, not saying that Caleb Williams is going to be bad yet. We're not giving up on him, right? I was watching ESPN 1000 the after show with Yurko yesterday, and then Cap and J Hood this morning, and the chats like people are calling for Tyson Bagent already. No, stop it. We're not doing that yet.
I was one of those people. In I'm just kidding.
We're not there yet. This league is impatient. People are impatient. Like I think Caleb needs more time. Like remember Josh Allen's first couple years, like he was not the spectacular player that he is now. Not saying that Caleb Williams will be Josh Allen, because Josh Allen is incredible.
I would love that. Oh my god.
It would be amazing. But there's just such like a different feeling of like, watching that Bills-Ravens game on Sunday night, and the Ravens are up 40-25 going into the fourth quarter. And I never felt like it must be awesome to be a Bills fan right now, because like you can be down 15 points in the fourth quarter. Most teams would be like, that's it, we're done for.
Well, and people left the stadium.
Yeah, and people left the stadium, and you're never out of it because you have a guy that must just be, and like a great team and like a winning culture. Like that must be like such an awesome feeling, and we don't know what that feels like.
Well, and what stinks is I remember going in the fourth quarter last night, and I'm like, this just doesn't feel good.
No.
I have a feeling, and yeah, as a Vikings fan, similar to the Bills, you shouldn't feel like you're out of it, even if it's a first-year starter, because you got Kevin O'Connell and a great nucleus of players on offense and defense. And it was bad. I just knew it wasn't going to be.
I was talking with one of my buddies who's a Vikings fan, and at halftime we were kind of like, oh, maybe this will be the way the game is, and he was like, yeah, I'm not giving up on JJ. He just needs some time. And I told him, I said, I don't think this game is over. I said, you underestimate our ability to like blow games. And I called it because we've seen it so many times before. And yeah, again, credit to the Vikings, credit to KOC, credit to Brian Flores, credit to JJ McCarthy for toughing it out, getting the crap beat out of him in the first half.
Yeah.
Mentally tough. I know that on the first episode last week, I gave JJ McCarthy some crap. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't like him.
From what I saw in all the Michigan games when I watched him, he just was handing the ball off. That's all Harbaugh was having him do.
I don't like him.
So, but he's mentally tough. He won a national championship, even though like Michigan might have done some questionable things, right?
Yeah.
He won a national championship, so he's mentally tough, and he showed that. And so now it's like, crap, now we got to deal. That was the one person I thought maybe we wouldn't have to deal with in our division yet, was JJ McCarthy. But now it's like, nope, I got to worry about Jordan Love and Jared Goff and JJ McCarthy now.
Right.
It's
yeah. So Bears, I will not fall victim to getting excited over you guys ever again.
Remember this for next season.
All right. No, just remember it for this week.
This week.
I will not get excited about Sunday, and then on Sunday I will be like, oh, baby.
You'll wake up, you'll be like, yeah.
I'll just drive to Detroit on a whim to watch them win the game they're going to win on Sunday.
We can't quit. It's just it's like a bad drug. We can't do it. So yeah, now we've got to figure out how to put that horrible that felt as horrible as any of the devastating losses last year.
Yeah, because it was such a winnable game because of all the the things that went wrong,
Yeah.
the phantom penalties or just the offense just collapsing. But I wanted to see some more deceivery from Ben Johnson. We didn't see any trick plays. What did piss me off is that last drive where we're trying to move the ball, and they are playing prevent defense because obviously the Bears have 15 seconds, no timeouts. And we run a wide receivers reverse to DJ Moore, and then it's a legal motion.
Yep.
Dude, I've seen that so many times. And why? What the hell kind of call is that?
So
DJ could have ran up the field, gotten 30 yards. I get it, whatever. But you still got Carlos Santos. But I was thinking it was kind of brewing to our own Hail Mary moment, and then it didn't happen. So,
yeah, you can delude yourself into grandeur. But
dude, I was granduring it up.
So I listened to the post game on ESPN 1000 yesterday when I got home, and shout out to Yurko. Yurko made a great point on this. They were talking about the way a Ben Johnson offense is supposed to look like, and them going for it on fourth down. And Yurko made a good point. He was like, they haven't earned the right to do that. They haven't proven that they can do that stuff.
With Ben Johnson going
right.
For
Everyone's just like, oh, Ben Johnson's here. We want you to do Dan Campbell, go for it on fourth down and risky stuff all the time. And a bunch of the deceptive trickery, triple flea flicker option plays that they were doing in Detroit. And Yurko was like, you haven't proved that you can do that. You can't even prove
you gotta
that.
take the points.
And you have to run a competent offense first before you get into the more complicated stuff. And they haven't proven that they can do that with this group of guys now. Now, again, it took time in Detroit to get to that point.
Right.
And it will probably take time to get to that point for us. But right now, it's you got to take the points. You got to take the easier plays until these guys prove that they can execute the way that Ben Johnson wants them to execute. And again, the execution, it can be there because when we were in the first 15, 20 scripted plays, Caleb was perfect. He was 10 for 10. He looked good. He was hitting really good throws. We were moving the ball. But when it got outside of that and it was just coming down to play calling and making adjustments, O'Connell and Brian Flores out-adjusted us. And it was at one point during the second half, it was the Vikings outgained us 140-something yards, and we had -1 in the second half.
Right.
Until the end, and we started moving again.
Yep. And it was on the flip side. I remember seeing the total yardage late in the first half, and it was 260 yards for the Bears, and Vikings had 60, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But the score didn't show that.
Yeah.
It was still, we still only had 10 points at the time. The fourth the fourth down call to go for it on fourth instead of the field goal. I was again. Yeah, baby.
I was hyped when we went for it. Yes,
but then you look back, it's dog. We should have just kicked the field goal and take the 3 points.
That would have and the Cairo Santos missed field goal would have been the difference.
But again, then you're relying on the rubber chicken leg. Is he gonna make the field goal? I have no confidence in that man anymore. So, yeah.
So going into, it's pretty clear where we stand. This hurt. It sucked. We're not making excuses. The Vikings did an incredible job to come back and win that game, and the Bears just got outplayed on every level, on offense, on defense, special teams, and outcoached. Welcome to the league, Ben Johnson, head coach. Welcome. This is Chicago, baby. You're here for the next 3-4 years. So this is.
Did they boo them as they walked off the field?
I don't know because I
was walking out
post game. But I saw someone on TikTok, I forget who it was, mentioned it was just we just need to get to Arlington Heights and get the stink of Soldier Field off.
Yeah.
A new place. And that was another thing, too.
They honored the 85 Bears before the game.
Embarrassing, yeah. Jim McMahon was probably let me get out there. And, those guys were probably oh, we could have done a better job.
Yeah, but it's
you have all the big guys. McMahon, Singletary, Dan Hampton's there. All the big guys.
Right. I really can't wait for the day where the 85 Bears aren't talked about really in Chicago.
That's all that we have. It's
like Michael Jordan with the Bulls.
That's all that we have.
Yeah, I know, but it's gosh, dude. Again, this is the 40th anniversary, so it makes sense. But, yeah, I want our own 85 Bears.
Yeah.
But that might not happen until 2085, and we'll be dead and gone.
I would like that, too. Before we go to our ad read break, you mentioned next week, Lions. How are you feeling about that? What do you want to see next week for Ben Johnson going up against his former team? Lions didn't look great.
No.
This week.
I want to see a competent offense. I want to see a quarterback that is confident in his ability to complete throws down the field. because I can't stand the dink and dive offense, and that was all last year. I want to see passes over the middle made and completed. I want to see a 50-yard bomb to Roma Dunze in stride, but I won't see that because I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to be disappointed again. So I will take whatever happens this week. I'm just not going to get excited, Eric. I'm just not going to get excited.
I'll check back in with you on like Friday.
Yeah,
and see how you
please do.
feel. Because that was me. Was that 2 years ago when we had that really bad opening day loss to the Packers? And I was just like, I'm not watching this team this season. I can't do it. Like, I'm just going to enjoy watching other good football teams play football. And by week 2, I was back in.
Yep.
So,
that's how it goes.
Yeah, we'll check back in. We like the pain. But, yeah, Ben Johnson revenge game, even though he hasn't really, like, lost to the Lions. But it'll be interesting to see, considering, you know, they lost their other coordinator, too, Aaron Glenn, who in New York played a pretty good game. One of the more entertaining games against the Steelers on Sunday. But, yeah, we need to see an offense that can move the ball. We need to see a defense that can pressure the quarterback, and we need to clean up execution for sure. We cannot have 12 penalties. That's inexcusable. That number of penalties. It's such an astronomically high number of penalties. When you subtract 127 yards from like your total yardage versus like when you get penalties, it's not going to be good. No. Has there ever been a team that's been penalized that much that's actually won a football game? I'm sure there has been, but it doesn't happen.
No.
It doesn't happen. And the Vikings just execute better. So, yeah, better execution is probably at the top of the list, and Cairo Santos has to make the kicks next week.
Yep.
It's probably the takeaway. So, yeah, let's go to our ad break really quick. As always, 95 Bears is brought to you by our sponsor, Total Roofing and Construction. Your home is a large investment, and for most of us, getting a home is probably the largest investment we'll ever make. You wouldn't trust just anyone off the street to help you take care of that home, right? You would want the best. For 40 years, Total Roofing has been your go-to contractor in the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana areas for roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Voted #1 best in the region for 2025. Check out Total Roofing and see why they can offer superior service and unmatched quality. For more information, go to www.totalroofingandconstruction.com. That's totalroofingandconstruction.com, and spelled out, no ampersand, longest email or longest website name in the world. I guess we'll just wait for Brett to come back. Just like staring off into the middle distance. All right, Brett, let's talk about some better football games. Week 1 in the NFL has come to a close. There's some pretty cool games. Is there anything that kind of caught your eye out there just first week in general?
Let's see. Man, that's a loaded question.
There
was a lot of good games. Obviously, the Sunday night game was probably the game of the year, which really stinks because I fell asleep during like the third quarter or early in the fourth, so I missed all of that. But I always read like the recaps of things, and it looked like that was quite a game.
Yeah.
But the Ravens and the Bills are two of the best teams in the entire league, so really not surprised that those two, Lamar and Josh Allen, always have heavyweight bouts. I know one of the games that stuck out to you was the game between our old quarterback and our most hated friend, the Steelers and the Jets. Justin Fields balled out against Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers of old came back and lifted the Steelers to victory. And
makes it hurt a little bit more.
And he's such a spiteful guy. He just was so happy to whoop their butt.
Yeah.
Because he played for the Jets last year, or the last couple of years. And
we hate Aaron Rodgers on this
pod. Was kind of impressed with the Chargers, Friday night down in Brazil, giving it to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Justin Herbert really balled out. Again, talking about good coaches, Jim Harbaugh, man, like he's undefeated in week 1, like in his NFL tenure.
Yep.
Again, it was just it's week 1. There's a lot of overreactions. I will tell you what I'm most excited about, Eric. I went 4-0 in fantasy. Yeah, I checked that this morning.
You
I
have
was
4
like,
fantasy
what?
teams. You won all of them?
I don't want to talk about it.
Nice.
Dude. I don't want to talk about that. I don't like it, but I did like going 4-0.
That's pretty good. That is very a reason to be happy. Yeah, you can't count on your actual team. You can count on your fantasy team.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean the Friday night game in Brazil stuck out. Just seeing the Chargers play the way they did, that was pretty neat. And that's my take kind of on week one. What was your most exciting and
Oh man,
things that stuck out?
So I originally started off on Sunday. I had the choice between watching Steelers, Jets, or Giants, Commanders.
Right.
And I think I said on the week one pod that we did that I thought the Steelers Jets game was just gonna be an absolute train wreck. So I was like, all right, I'll watch the Giants and the Commanders because for whatever reason the Giants had been getting like this buzz coming out of like training camp that like they're gonna be good and they have Malik Neighbors and their D-line would be good. And Russell Wilson, yeah, but like Russell Wilson hasn't been good since he's left Seattle. So I don't know like how we like deluded ourselves into thinking that was the case. The Giants were awful. Jaden Daniels was not as good in that game as I've seen him be before, so that was interesting. I don't know if that's a product of like maybe the Giants defense was just like that good.
A little more improved.
So again, week one we need more of a sample size to figure that out. But yeah, I quickly switched off that game when I saw like Fields throw the first touchdown. And I'm just like, all right, I'm going to switch over to that. And it was bittersweet because Fields left, and I think we talked about when he left that you and I certainly have no hard feelings towards Justin Fields. He played his ass off when he was here. Under pretty bad circumstances. He came in the first game he ever
surrounding him, and
I just remember that first game he ever played against Cleveland. They started and like he got sacked like 6 times. It was just
back when Nagy was still here.
Yeah, and I've always rooted for him. It was bittersweet seeing him like duel Aaron Rodgers like down to the wire, and the difference being that 60-yard field goal. He played awesome. Like the other coordinator from Detroit, Aaron Glenn, feels like he's turning that culture around. Like the vibes around the Jets like are always like kind of stinky, just like the vibes around our team are stinky. It felt different. So that was impressive. Not much to say on the Green Bay Detroit game.
Green Bay just won so convincingly. I mean,
Micah Parsons got a sack, so I mean they were happy about that.
How'd that make you feel? Tell us how you really feel.
That he's gonna sack Caleb like 4 times when we play them, probably.
Yeah, that's not good.
They came out really hot. They like put up 17 right away, and then just kind of like they kind of stalled a little bit in the second half. I don't know. Again, I can't determine if that's because like if Detroit's defense is good or just like Jordan Love didn't sustain it throughout the whole game.
Right.
I don't know. Too early to call on that. I mean, I'm a Jordan Love hater, but I'm not willing to sit here and say like Jordan Love is like bad and washed when he won the game and like we didn't.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Yeah, the Bills-Ravens game on Sunday night was probably an instant classic. I did the same thing as you. I was holding my 6-month-old and I like fell asleep holding him, which you're not supposed to do. And it was like 40-25 going into the fourth, and then like I heard like a crowd pop, and I woke up, and it's like 40-32, and I'm like, what is happening? Man, it must feel so good to have just a guy like Josh Allen, to where it's like, yeah, we're never out of this. We can come back and win, and just watch him just do everything to will his team to victory. Like just jump over the line to get the goal line rushing touchdown, just make the most ridiculous passes.
Yep.
I would trade the whole Bears franchise to just have Josh Allen. Like just everything. The KC Chargers game in Brazil is interesting. I was not convinced by the Chiefs last year. They didn't look the way.
No, they weren't the dominant Chiefs
that we expected to see, and they kind of continued that in this game. I kind of had the same feeling because going into the fourth, it was like they were down 1 score.
Yeah.
They had the ball late. I was like, oh, this is classic Mahomes. He's going to drive down the field. They're going to win it probably. But they didn't. And Herbert iced that game with like a rush.
Yeah, that rush. And then his slide was so majestic. Like,
it was a long slide.
It was awesome. Dude, he slid like
the hair like flowing in the wind.
Yep.
Yeah, majestic.
And then he just got up in the first down. Like, game's over.
He played really good.
Hasta la vista, baby.
I think I wrote in the notes that it doesn't feel like the same Chiefs team. I want to say this to all of the national media members who I know are definitely following, because we have this debate all summer. It's like, who are like the top 5 quarterbacks or whatever, and like Justin Herbert gets a lot of disrespect. Like, Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. Like, stop. I know he hasn't had the playoff success. Like, stop disrespecting him. Like, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I would kill to have
Justin
I would love to have Justin Herbert. I think 2 years ago I was just like, we should just trade whatever they want for Justin Herbert when the Chargers were like kind of like down before they got Jim Harbaugh. I'm like, trade for Justin Herbert. Like, get him here.
Well, it gets to that point where as the rookies, once they exit their rookie contract, and quarterbacks now in this day and age are making $40 million plus, they expect certain performances.
It's
Like
almost like
Dak Prescott making that much money is dumb, but
it's almost
that's
like they
just the
need
nature
a
of the
couple. It's
quarterback.
almost like they need a couple years to like develop.
Yeah, I know.
What a crazy concept.
Are you telling me that I should give that to Caleb?
No, I'm just saying. We'll see. That's to be determined. Just say Peyton Manning during his rookie year threw the most interceptions ever. So just putting that out there.
Yep.
And Josh Allen was terrible his rookie year.
Yeah.
So definitely the vibes around KC feel different. I don't know. Do we want to have this discussion? Do you remember when Tony Romo started dating Jessica Simpson?
Yes.
And it was like everyone in the media was like, "This is such a huge distraction, and like it's affecting his play, and blah 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 blah." And like now, and again, we're pro Taylor Swift on this podcast. We love Taylor Swift. We jam out to her songs like in the office. Pro Taylor Swift. At what point are we like, yeah, this other stuff that these Chiefs players are involved with, mainly Kelsey and Mahomes, like off the field, like how many fucking commercials they do during the offseason, or like this, like Kelsey has his podcast, like the circus, like why is that not the same argument where it's like these guys are distracted, they're not playing their full potential, like why is that not something we can say when like we crucified Tony Romo for dating Jessica Simpson?
Okay, I didn't crucify Tony Romo. All right.
I didn't
backstory.
know. I didn't either.
So my uncle, shout out Uncle Sean, he was college roommates with Tony Romo.
Nice.
So we've known Tony Romo since he was a Eastern Illinois Panther.
I like Tony Romo. My sister went.
I got to meet
Eastern.
Jessica Simpson at U of I. She was opening for Rascal Flatts.
Nice.
And it was really cool. She was Jessica Simpson, so like I just stared at her. But Tony, like he had those distractions, but he still was a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah. He played his ass off.
Right, and then you got Mahomes and Kelsey's just. I think this is his last year. Like he's just.
I would think so.
He's been such a dominant force. Again, they had those distractions, but they still come out and compete. Like last year, gosh, they made it to the Super Bowl. It was like it wasn't the dominant Chiefs of old. It was crafty. Like they had to adjust.
And they leaned on their defense a lot.
Exactly.
And I
Steve
felt like
Spagnuolo
I felt like their defense would step up, and they didn't. It just it felt different. And Rashee Rice was out. Kelsey took out Xavier Worthy, which was kind of like not great.
Yeah.
So like, who's he throwing to? Juju Smith-Schuster's out there, but he's like not.
He's like
not
400.
So it'll be interesting to see. Like, you can never count the Chiefs out. The vibes felt different. I've always been a huge like Chargers fan. I sympathize with them because their fan base has suffered similar to how we have. Except they've always had like great players. Like I love
Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson. That team was amazing.
LT.
And I've always liked Justin Herbert. Like I've always had a soft spot for the Chargers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good.
And the Eagles were, that was a classic game, but the lightning delay really frustrated me because I'm like, I want to watch the game finish, and had to go to sleep.
I didn't hear AJ Brown's name mentioned one time.
He got one catch.
Yeah, why?
I know that because he's on one of my teams.
He's your best guy. Like, why do you not?
I have no idea.
Like, if again, same thing with Justin Jefferson. If that guy's on my team, like 1 out of every 4 plays, I'm like trying to go to him. Yeah. He's a game changer. And just Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley on the same team feels illegal. Like that's just such a crazy combination.
Yeah.
Because their rushing ability and like we can stop having this conversation. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. We can stop having that conversation. Like he's just a good quarterback. Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to have him on my team. But yeah, that was. I mean, we expected the Eagles to pick up. I think it was kind of surprising that game went back and forth in the first half, and then, like you said, the lightning delay kind of slowed it down.
Yeah.
There was a shot I really loved in that game where like they were trading blows, and like the first like 5 sequences had all resulted in scores, and then they like flashed the camera over to Matt Eberflus on the sideline, and I was like, well, isn't this interesting? Who
it is?
What a surprise! We've had no defense.
Yeah. Yep. God bless them. We play them week 3. The Cowboys come to Soldier Field in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So exciting week 1. One other game I wanted to mention too. I kind of shit on this game as well because I thought the Colts were going to come out and be dreadful.
Yeah, holy
Danny
cow.
Dimes came out. The Colts were awesome. The Dolphins were a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Tua played horribly. I saw a clip of like Tyreek Hill was crashing out on the sideline, as the kids like to say these days. He was crashing on the sideline like halfway through the first game. Like the vibes are not good in Miami. I've picked Mike McDaniel to be the first coach fired. Like he's just that ship has run its course. That team is, I think they're done.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember, they were the ones that said the Bears practiced too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they got popped in the mouth by the Colts. Yeah, that was I couldn't believe that. I didn't know Danny Dimes still had that in him.
Dude, yeah.
So.
And then the Giants had to watch Russ be not great and watch Danny Dimes be incredible over in the Colts. And they're just like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, I feel you, Giants fans. I feel you. Kindred spirit, man.
Yeah. No, it was again. I'm glad that week 1 or football's back. The NFL, that's my favorite time of year, and it's easy to look at every mistake that was made, especially from a Bears perspective. And I do think I'll give Ben Johnson. He's got a 4-year contract. It's not going to be figured out in 1 week. They're not going to come out yesterday and score 1 million points, but I just want to see different things. I want to see Caleb play much better. I want to see all those pre-snap penalties cleaned up. I want to see our defense at full strength too, like T.J. Edwards being out, Jalen and Kyler Gordon not being there definitely hurt at the end.
Huge.
But week 1, I think nothing really stood out that much outside of Danny Dimes and the Steelers-Jets game being a high scoring. Everything else kind of went kind of status quo, I feel like. Outside of the Bears losing, that wasn't status quo.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been a loss.
We got Detroit next week, though. So we'll see if we can bounce back.
We will.
Is that in Detroit? Or is it on the road?
Last night took a L, but this week got bounced back.
back.
But I probably shouldn't quote that song lyric because Big Sean's in Detroit.
Oh, yeah, he is. He performed when I was at the draft. We went to the draft.
Yeah, that's right.
Williams, and he performed, and I was like, Big Sean? Crazy.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm back to being excited. We're gonna win this weekend.
You talked yourself into it throughout the process of this show. I love it.
It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. There's not gonna be any letdowns this weekend. Where it's gonna end with a dub, and we'll have a victory Monday next week.
You heard it here first. We're back in. It only took the course of
my irrational confidence.
One episode, so
is back. It's the Celsius energy drink finally hit me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm thinking clearly again.
We're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you found this cathartic if you are a Bears fan, or maybe if you're not a Bears fan and you're hate watching, you take great pride in seeing us.
Yeah, you're sick.
Yeah,
you're sick.
You're sick. But thanks for tuning in. If you want to find the show, as of right now, like I said, it's only on YouTube and Spotify. I will work on getting it up on other places as we kind of do more of these and figure that out. No social media yet. I will work on getting some of that stuff up too. The only thing we have right now is an email account. So if you want to send us an email, maybe I'll read it on air if you want to
tips and suggestions.
Or just if you want to rant about your team. This is a safe space, we understand. So if you want to, as long as it's rated PG, I will
13.
Yeah, PG-13. I can read it. We can always bleep out the words, but you can email us at 9to5bears@gmail.com.
Nice.
Very professional. But
now is it 9 the number 2 or TO?
TO. Yeah, so the number 9 TO.
9 Terrell Owens, 5 Bears or Ed, whatever. He said it.
Shout out to speaking of Terrell Owens.
Kyle will put the handle right there. You're going to see it right here. The CG.
Speaking of Terrell Owens really quick, Randy Moss beat cancer. So shout out Randy Moss. Congratulations. But we'll wrap it up here. Go visit TotalRoofingConstruction.com for our sponsor for all things exterior for your home. And we'll catch you guys next week for Victory Monday.